Oh, that's a good way to start the week,
isn't it? Good morning and welcome back to Andertons TV on this fine and dandy who knows what day or time.
It's a beautiful day outside today.
Universal Audio.
Yes.
It is a beautiful day. It's spring. And what better way to start spring than with some new pedals?
With some spring reverb.
Hey!
Shout. Hey! Oh, the little bunny springs up. But before we start, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because every 50,000 new subscribers, we will give out prizes.
We're pretty close to the next 50,000.
We are.
So if you haven't subscribed yet, jump in.
For
you
anyone.
Might be lucky.
You could have been subscribed for 10 years or just subscribed yesterday. You can still win something.
Okay.
Let's go.
So 3 new pedals from our friends at Universal Audio.
Yes.
Universal Audio, one of the original kind of, 1950s kind of music industry companies. Most famous for their studio work and making consoles and outboard gear and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. More recently, of course, working with guitar players. Tor, you may remember. Here's a picture of Tor on screen now, everybody's favourite kind of Danish guitar player. Second favourite Danish guitar person.
Whoa, careful now.
Careful. So he started working for UA a few years ago and has really kind of, headed up their guitar division. We've got things like the Ox, which is very cool. And there's a 4, 5, 9, is it 6 pedals already? And then these are another 3, so there'll be 9 pedals now.
Yeah, so they had the 3 amp pedals, which you can watch up there, and then we've got the 3, the Astra, the Starlight, and the Golden Reverberator, which you can also watch the video up there. And if you want to watch the Ox video with you can watch it up there too, or below, or whatever.
Yeah, links below.
Yeah.
So, okay, 3 new pedals today. Compressor.
Yes.
Universal Audio's so steeped in compression history, so there's lots and lots of kind of throwback Universal Audio goodness in here.
Throwback.
The Galaxy is the pedal format of a plugin that they actually made in collaboration with Roland a few years ago around the Space Echo pedal. It's the first time it's been done in a pedal by UA.
All the time, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my plugins.
The Del-Verb. Del-Verb, all that, wouldn't he? Only Fools and Horses gags.
That should have been yellow.
Inbound. Yeah. Absolutely.
With trotters on the side there.
Yeah, just with 3 wheels.
I think only UK people will get that.
Absolutely.
I think.
So the Del-Verb is an interesting one, actually. It's possibly the one I'm drawn to the most, even though technologically it's the least new. So the Del-Verb, think of this as a greatest hits from the Golden Reverberator pedal and the Starlight delay pedal.
Yeah.
So just taking the best bits out of that, kind of simplifying it down, putting it in one pedal where one button turns the delay on and off and the other turns the reverb on and off. So we'll get to that in a minute. The intro jam your little piece that you heard, by the way, had a little bit of reverb from here, a little bit of delay from here, a little bit of compression from here, and we did put the drive through
from the Dane,
as well. Signal path is this beautiful Seth Backus guitar. It's a Shoreline guitar. You can buy these from Andertons. Into the compressor, into the drive, back into the Galaxy, then into the Del-Verb, then going out in stereo into 2 clean amplifiers, one Victory V140, the other Victory DP40, with nothing on.
Very efficient today.
It sounded like this. So big and dry, okay? Should we just, we need reverb all the time, right?
Yeah.
So let's just, I'm not going to tell you much about this, but we're going to use spring reverb or what reverb?
It doesn't really matter, man.
Okay.
Maybe it's a bit too much. So
Plate.
It's nice too.
So a little bit of reverb. That's on the Plate 140 setting, which again I'll tell you a little bit about.
Yes.
So let's start with the MAX pedal, dual compressor pedal. I'm going to switch between showing you what the knobs do on here and also switch between sort of screen recording the Bluetooth apps that are on the phone.
Yeah.
All the UA pedals have the most magnificently simple to use Bluetooth apps that will run on a phone and help you use these pedals more. So this is 2 compressors in 1 pedal.
Yeah. Compressor
1, compressor 2, and the idea is each compressor can be set to replicate an MXR Dyna
Dyna Comp, yeah.
So that's the most sort of familiar guitar kind of pedal. It could be the LA2A optical compressor, which is again an old Universal Audio product. It could be the 1176 compressor, which was a slightly sort of, I think that came out in the 60s. It's probably the most copied compression circuit.
Yeah, like the Cali 76 and lots of other.
Yeah. So and the red knob is then it's the tube preamp circuit, or an emulation of that at least, from the original Universal Audio 610 console.
The big knob on it.
So imagine compressor 1, I choose which compressor I want it to be, I dial in how much compression I want, and then I choose whether or not I want some tube kind of goodness, yeah, from that console. Compressor 2, switch down here, do the same again. And then I can use the two compressors in 3 different ways. That's 4 different ways. Because one is coming. There's 3 ways at the moment.
Yeah, don't say that.
In development. No, apparently I'm allowed to.
Oh, you are? Yeah, okay.
So the 3 modes currently out the box are stacked mode. So you turn one on and turn the other on, and they'll stack on top of each other in series. There's parallel mode. So one input comes in and is split and then goes through potentially both compressors simultaneously, or again, you can switch them on or off. And then there's exclusive mode, which is the switches will toggle. So if I've got compressor 1 on and I press compressor 2, it will switch compressor 1 off and go to compressor 2. So you got 2 different circuits. There is, in development at the moment, that UA are hoping to announce soon, what's called dual mono. So you'll notice on all these pedals, you've got a left in and a left and a right in. So you've got true stereo path through it. And they're working on a mode where compressor 1 will work on one side and compressor 2 will work on the other. That's great, isn't it?
Let's get the app on, man.
Let's get the app on.
Yeah. Right, Lee.
Rightly.
Oh, we had it set to parallel in the beginning.
Can I go back? Right, I'm going to show you. Right, so on screen now is the app. Now, the cool thing is every pedal that you buy from UA, you add to your app. So this is all free, by the way, comes included in the price. So you can see Pete's got 4 pedals.
These are the pedals that's on at the moment, because there might be more in here. So
it's because we got
one on one over here. We're not using it.
So I'm going to click the MAX app now. It does take a few seconds to load. You can kind of see the light sort of flashing across the screen. That
looks cool.
Let's have some intermission music. Oh, we didn't need it. There we go. Right. So the app is not big, right? You can see the top of the app says foot switch mode. I scroll down a tiny bit and it gives me some general sort of help. So don't feel like, oh my God, this is I'm going to get stuck in 50 million pages of stuff. So here's your 3 different modes of playing. As I'm switching this, the pedal is reconfiguring to be this. So these are the serial, parallel, and exclusive mode. That's where dual mono will get added in. Then you've got some basic settings for the red knob, this 610 preamp. So you've got some EQ, high and low EQ stuff. You've got a sidechain bass filter that you can decide whether it's on or off for the 1176. And then the same again for your compressor 2 settings. So dead simple.
Super easy.
I think what we'll do is we will show you the difference in sound between series and parallel, but we'll start with serial, sorry, not series.
What kind of cereal do you have in the morning? If you have cereal.
I'm not a big cereal, but if I do, it's Weetabix.
Weetabix, man. That's like eating glue.
Do you think so? Oh, I like it.
Moments later.
So we're going to start in serial mode, and we're going to start on the Dyna Comp, which is their kind of emulation of the MXR compressor. It's the most, I suppose, familiar pedal compressor that there is. So if I just turn it on, but with no preamp gain from the 610.
Take it off, please.
So
that's cool.
The LED, by the way, is taking you from if it's in green, there's no compression happening on there. As soon as it's amber, you've got a little bit of compression, and then compression. And then when it goes red, it's essentially saying that's quite heavy compression.
So a little bit is orange or yellow, green. It's cool how it just does that to my sound, doesn't it? That's a good sounding compressor, man.
So we've got the option of adjusting the amount of compression, the volume output, the attack, the ratio, and the release. If you're not familiar with all of those kind of terminologies, again, links below, and it'll explain it because I'm not going to go into it. But as Pete said, compression is that sense of squeezing the signal down, how fast it kind of comes in, how quickly it releases the compression, how much it squeezes down. That's what all these controls are doing. And you would just adjust to taste. Yeah. I rather like, when in a lot of the videos that we do, Pete will often have a bit of compression on everything. Yeah. And I notice it when I listen back to the recording, because whereas sometimes I'm playing my sort of, my pick attack sounds a bit unpleasantly spiky sometimes. Yours never does. It's always that lovely kind of...
Yeah. I call it antidepressants for guitar sound. That's what this is. It just does that to it.
I expect your technique and experience is better than mine as well. But anyway, so that's the... Let me see what happens when I start to wind this preamp control in.
There's definitely a bit of a crunch there.
There's almost more compression as well the more you drive that up. I'm led to understand that it is compressor into the 610 preamp rather than the other way round.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite compressed now as well. I would probably... The Dyna Comp is, for me, it's too compressed. Listen, if I do this...
Well, if I take it down, I've got...
Oh, that does sound great, off man. It's funny because I used to have compressor on all the time when I had the T-Rex, the green compressor. I can't remember what it's called. I used to have it all the time, and then I stopped doing it, and now I started doing it again. There's so much more dynamic in it. Even though it does this to your sound, you can manage to get more dynamics if you don't run it too hard. If it doesn't squeeze it too much. It just fattens up the sound like an always-on pedal for me.
All right. Well, look. So I'm going to just run through what they are. So the LA2A now. This was an original Universal Audio piece of outboard for studios. A compressor, very simple to use, became super popular. Very smooth sounding compressor. Again, would have typically been used probably more on vocals and stuff like that than necessarily guitar, but it's...
Well, I use it on guitar and acoustic guitars as well. It just fattens everything up like that.
Excellent. So let's have a little listen to how this sounds.
Can we have it without first, please?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Let's switch between. If I switch between the Dyna Comp and the Dyna Comps are much more aggressive, kind of like whoa. This is more subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I prefer it. That's what I prefer. It off a bit.
Now, I've just noticed, again, on the app here, that actually, because I was thinking, there's a little bit of extra brightness there, but actually the preset EQ, by the looks of things, is a bit more treble. So,
okay, let's try that.
Whilst we're using this, let's go through... I don't need to... I was going to point this to the camera, but there's no point. We are recording this. So here's flat EQ response.
+6 on the bass. -6 on the bass. So that's +6 on the high EQ.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's not spiky or anything.
It's just the make everything better pedal,
But
isn't it?
you know, and it's not necessarily going louder. You know, it's not like Nicky louder. It's just it just makes the sound bigger.
Okay, so that's our LA2A. The next one, now this is kind of guitar folklore history here. So the 1176, which I mentioned was the sort of super copied one.
Yeah.
This was, and potentially this is perhaps the idea where the stacked thing comes in. Back in the 70s, you'd have artists like Little Feat, Wood. They would just go into an 1176 into another 1176, then into the 610 console and just record all their guitar parts like that.
Yeah.
So no guitar amps.
Yeah.
So if you like, this is almost emulating that kind of vibe, or at least will do when we start stacking the stuff up. But let's have a little listen to the 1176. It's so subtle. I've turned all the EQ off. What did you like?
Just leave it like that. But you can
I
try
like
to
that
tiny bit extra top and maybe some extra. Are you on the? So that's the next one down, isn't it? Oh no.
No, compressor
okay,
2
right.
is.
Oh man.
So I'm going to put a little bit of this 610 preamp in now.
You can hear it's still got this to me. Come on, man.
It's amazing. I mean, it's very, very intuitive. The more you wind the compression up, obviously the heavier the compression gets, but the output goes up as well, so you can compensate with the output control on here, and vice versa. Anyway,
Wow.
this is where the sort of the WYSIWYG side of things comes in. So what will happen now is, as I change this switch down to position 2, all the settings for the first compressor are now remembered.
Pressure.
Compression. Why can't I say that word today? Under compression. So I'm going to switch compressor 2 on and get a different sound now. So obviously I can elect to have a different compressor if I want. I think I don't really know what I might want to stack. I mean, let's just try stacking two 1176s together, but maybe with a bit more drive on them.
Oh my god. So it's now saved where you were before.
On compressor 1.
Yeah. And you are in.
So I can give ourselves, I don't know, have a bit of a bass boost on it.
Oh yeah, you started chaining the two into each other.
So, to be totally honest with you, I think I'm just going to now show you what it happens when the two stack together.
Wow, crazy.
Okay, so you don't really notice how much gain there is off of this preamp control until you stack one into the other, and then you really do, you're like doubling. So I probably need to back some of this
back off maybe. Wow, that's
you know
insane.
What? You get bear in mind you're going to get quite a bit of background noise from the preamp, I think, if you're stacking them up.
Yeah.
Parallel, now again, you can see on the diagram now. So this is still both compressors, but not stacking. So it's splitting it, going through each compressor and then summing it back the other side again.
Wow, there's a lot of power going through that. That's why I prefer that. Go back to the first one.
How much sustain is there?
That's where you would have to...
Yeah, let's just show you how maybe with a little bit of light gain from the Dane and then compressor into the Dane.
Is that now, which is this one now?
That's serial. So you've got one compressor stacked into the next, going into the drive.
Yeah.
Here's parallel.
Try to turn it off and see if I can get that without.
There is noise, but two compressors into a drive, there's not that much noise,
No,
is
well,
there?
they are noisy, even, like, they're not noisy, but when you want to use something like that, like the Scali 76, it does have a bit of a...
Oh, well. Look, we better move on. I'm going to the exclusive mode, you don't really need to see, to be honest, or hear, but you'll see the lights swapping, so that's now, I'm now
it's like
essentially swapping between two compressors. Yeah.
So if you're a slide player, you can have it off. You can have like an 1176 on one side, or like a whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Anyway, right. So that's the Max. Okay. So next is the Galaxy. Again, in my opinion, a great chocolate bar. Pete disagrees.
I'd rather have Guardians of the Galaxy.
Chocolate Wars video. Links below. Probably not links below. Was that on Instagram?
It never went out.
We never went out.
No.
Why?
It needs to go out then.
Phoenix for it. It's never gone out.
Wow.
It needs to go
Please,
out.
in the comment section below, do you want to see Chocolate Wars, where Pete and I argue a lot?
We argue about
All the
proper
time.
cacao beans or vegetable oil. Which is basically every British chocolate you ever put in your mouth.
Let's have a quick look at the app again just to see how complicated. Oh my, it's so simple, right?
There's one glass of milk in this.
All we're choosing between is, do we want trails on or off? Obviously on.
Yeah.
Then we get to choose what this secondary foot switch does here. Effects on and off is always going to be effects on and off, but then you've got this idea of you can make it do tap tempo, feedback, swell.
See? Yeah, so you get either normal.
Oh, I
or,
see.
Yeah.
I see. Sorry. So I can actually do this so that one turns the delay on and off, one turns the reverb on and off. Got it, Mr. Pete. I see.
Because this got slightly reverb in it as well, of course.
Yeah. Well, because the old
it was a
Tape Echo had reverb in it, didn't it? So anyway, we're going to play around with feedback, swell, and echo rate ramp.
I'm going to turn that off now.
Good idea. Good idea.
Drive.
Here we go. This is now if you've ever seen an old Space Echo machine, you'll know it had a piece of tape going around and it had heads on it. I think it was 3 heads basically on it in different positions. And as you recorded something, the tape would record your guitar signal and then it would move around. And when it hit the first head, it would repeat, and then the second head, and then the third head. And
sounds like your weekend.
And the idea, which you used to be able to do on the Space Echo as well, is you could elect which heads were on, and obviously you get the same idea here.
Yeah.
So very, very simply with this
You can shake it as
switch
well.
here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 together, 2 and 3 together, 1 and 3 together, or all of them on at the same time. That's how you get all your different sort of quarter notes and eighth notes and all that kind of stuff. The knobs here are going to do echo rate, so you know, how long or short are the echoes. Feedback, so how many repeats. Volume of the echoes. Then these bottom 3 controls have got these alternative parameters as well. So with this switch up, it's going to do input volume, dwell, and reverb volume. With the switch down, it's going to do tape age, bass, and treble. Now is probably as good a time as any to say that although UA understand that lots and lots of people have said, why can't we have MIDI presets on this? Because I suppose hypothetically, I believe the pedals would be capable of doing that within their sort of DSP processing power. But UA as yet haven't elected to add that as a feature and are still sort of the opinion that these are kind of, you know, you press the button on and off, the pedal turns on and off.
I don't see any problems with that at all.
But, you know, it's these have USB and Bluetooth, and you can, of course, do MIDI over USB and MIDI over Bluetooth.
So maybe, who knows?
If UA elects to do that. But right now, today, these do not have the kind of, you know, Walrus, Strymon-y kind of MIDI controllable presets.
No, and that's
anyway,
fine.
So let's go through some basic, how does this sound? So we had a little bit of reverb here. I'll turn the echo all the way off so we can just hear the reverb. So dwell is part of the reverb circuit. So dwell and volume. Okay. Fine.
How long is dwelling on the?
And here we go with some tape echo. Oh, okay, so that must be a Space Echo thing and that I just had forgotten about or I'm not familiar with, but less echo rate is a longer
Slower.
echo. Yeah. So you're
It's
slowing,
just
the,
slower the
you're
tape down,
slowing
yeah,
the
yeah.
tape speed,
Yeah.
aren't you? Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh, that was a bit reggae.
Right.
I'll try introducing other heads.
That's
All
such
three?
a beautiful.
Oh no, not all three. 1 and 3.
Yeah, so you got bop, bop, yeah. So it misses one.
All 3. Should we do the ramp control thing?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether I might just go back to, well, it doesn't really matter how many we've got. I quite like that 1 and 2. Okay.
You got the age of the tape.
Yeah, that's on the alternate mode.
Right.
See,
Yeah, so it's like old, sounds sort of worn out, isn't it?
like me. Or downwards.
I prefer that off, so it does the. Oh, you can do all of the three at the same time.
No, that's off.
Okay, so I prefer this one where you just get the feedback
Okay.
and the.
It feels to me like.
That sounds good, man.
Hang on, I've got some notes here as well. Need my glasses on. Hang on.
Horse's eye.
Okay, I knew I had some notes about this because it kind of feels to me that was actually a pretty simple one to demo. We seem to spend a lot longer on the Max, but I think that is the beauty of all these universal audio pedals. They're really, really simple to use.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that again, this was originally co-designed with, or the plugin, sorry, was co-designed with Roland, and then I guess probably Roland decided they want to release their own Space Echoes.
They did, didn't they? Yeah,
Roland said, please don't use our name anymore, and so they renamed this as Galaxy. And now this is the pedal version.
Wonderful.
So yeah, so we're using, the question I asked the Universal Audio guy before we started this was,
Tom.
it's a stereo in and out, so what actual stereo imaging is occurring? Because obviously an old tape echo would normally be all mono. And he said it's two discrete paths. So paths?
Wow, it's going
two
well
discrete
today.
paths.
Was it a rough
so
weekend?
Although we're setting all the effects left and right the same, when you go into stereo, you do still have this sort of width, if you like, that comes out. So it's not ping-ponging, delaying thing like that. I can't even speak. I'm going to have to lie down after this.
Yeah, I think so. What's going on there?
But you do get a slight sense of more separation, I suppose, and width in stereo, which is what we're doing. Anywho, so that's the Galaxy.
I love that.
These are all the same price, by the way. You're going to get change out of £400 on all of these, and they're all in stock on the day of release. So
Today,
basically.
Good,
You'll be able to go and buy one of these and get it tomorrow from Andertons. Last one, let's press the Del-Verb
That's
button.
a good colour, and we were discussing what colours go together.
great
Brown
colour.
knobs, and it's been a while since I had a brown knob.
I just want to say, as well, I love the manual that you get from. I mean, this is basically you get one little square piece of paper. It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
You scan the QR code here. It takes you to where the app is if you want to download the app. You're never ever going to have your head buried in a manual going, oh, I can't work out what this does. It's so simple, unless you're me. So
well, you're simple. Is that what you mean, or is
that's
you're not
what
simple?
I mean. Now, so Del-Verb, you've got to imagine two pedals in one. That's the simplest way I can really say this. So this is
awesome.
Yes, it is awesome. I agree. So this is going to turn the delay side on and off. This is going to turn the reverb side on and off.
Yeah.
There's no way of wiring these into a looper, like a gig rig looper or whatever, so that each effect is on a different loop.
Okay.
It's just one.
Yeah, but let's make it simple. It's
right.
like the Cavans from Keeley, with some reverb on one side. And
it's supposed to be a space saver, But again,
Yeah.
so, you know, one pedal in the space of where you might have two.
Exactly.
So the
brilliant.
3 modes of delay, again, it's the most popular modes. Now, interestingly, again, there are heaps and heaps of different voicings. In fact, you can see them changing as I switch the switch. But essentially, your 3 main delay modes are Echoplex 3, and you can see again. I'm not going to read them all out. You can see that on the app. You've got the Deluxe Memory Man, again with lots of these different settings here. And then finally the Precision, which is that's the UA.
That's their own one,
their own sort of digital delay
Proprietary.
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 And then on the other side, on the reverb side,
Look how it switches over.
It's so cool.
And it's the same colour.
Millions and millions of spring reverb voicings. You've had these before, haven't you? I guess the voicings grow over time, right? Because on the old pedals, they had like artist voicings.
No, that was the amp pedals where I made some presets for the amp pedals.
Yeah, but it's
a similar thing.
I assume these were, because every time you open the app, doesn't it sort of update itself? Anyway, blah, blah, blah. There's, so what did we say? The middle one is the old EMT plate reverb,
so good.
and then the bottom one is the Lexicon 20.
So the ones we always use, I always use that on. Yeah, anyway. Let's start on the spring.
You want to
There's
start?
only one knob, right? For the reverb.
That's a good question. Let me just refer to my Del-Verb.
One brown knob.
Okay, so the modulation does different things depending on which delay setting you're on. The color does different things depending on. But I think you're right. I think you're right. The reverb control is literally, that's it. Just the reverb control.
And then that's it.
Yeah, okay.
But that's fine. I like that simplicity.
So what are we on
like
at the
an amp.
moment? We are on Spring A Rotato. You say Rotato, I say Rotato. What?
It's just the spring knob like an amplifier.
I'm just going to have the default Spring 65 reverb. Go.
So
that's so clangy. I like it.
And that's literally like your amp. Yeah. One knob to turn it up.
Yeah.
2 knobs on the screen.
Long and luscious.
Hang on, because it sets it, so.
Wow, that's long.
And luscious.
There's too many here, aren't there? Ghostly vibrato.
Oh, ghostly.
Okay.
Trails.
There are
Happy trails, hands.
There are actually 2 alternate ways of having the switches working on here. So within the app, I can choose to have trails on and off, but I can elect to either have this as this one doing delay, this one doing reverb, or in the alternative mode, this will turn both the delay and the reverb off simultaneously, and then this will be a tap control.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave it the other way around for now. And that's anyway. So most of the app for the Del-Verb is about the voicings.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds beautiful, man.
Is there any other? Do you know? We'll be here all day if I try and do all these. So we'll go to plate 140.
Oh my God, that sounds great, man.
This one here is when the rockers went to Brighton Beach in the 1970s.
Mod.
They got a mod slap.
Mod.
I've never actually seen an original EMT plate reverb, but Tom from UA was saying it's like a box that's 8 meters long with a steel sheet of steel in it or whatever, and that's what they would play the. I'm guessing, I don't know. There's Cold War verb kids here. It's topical.
I was like a...
There's loads.
Yeah.
There's loads and loads and loads.
Can we just
anyway,
can we just have the 4...
Of course you can. There's
What's
so
it called again?
many
Is that a
here.
4? I can't.
This is the Lexicon
224. Yeah, 224.
8-voice chorus mode, ambience.
That's just like a room, isn't it?
Big log. Anyway,
wow.
Just in case you're wondering, whatever the last voicing you've chosen for on here is what will be recalled when you switch it on. So this is a sort of a set and forget kind of app. You're just going to find your favourite one, go, that's what I like, and then every time you turn the reverb on, that's what you're going to get. A few more knobs for the delay side of things. So delay, time, feedback, mix, colour and mod. And again, you've got obviously all your different voicings, and now the mod and colour controls will do different things depending on the mode of delay you're on. So, I mean, again, colour is doing record level, input gain, or delay tone, depending on which one you've got.
Okay.
And the modulation one is, I suppose, emulating the tape wearing out on the Echoplex. It's putting vibrato if you go left, chorus if you go right on the Deluxe Memory Man mode, and it's doing flanger left and chorus right when you're on the precision mode types of modulation.
Start up here.
Yep.
That's just a nice... There.
It's warm azimuth. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of, let's see how well we know Pete's mind. I'm going to turn this round to him. He gets to choose one. Let's all guess which one he goes for straight away.
What?
Can he even see?
I can't see it, man. No, I can't see it. Well, I can go for all of them. Bright spank, broken bottom.
No, come on, which one are you going to go with?
Dirty hands. You said.
There we are.
I want to spank.
Congratulations, everybody. You all know him
a broken bottom,
just as well as I do.
It's a broken bottom.
I knew it was either going to be dirty heads or broken bottom. I knew it would be one of the two.
So how can I get my head more dirty then?
Hang on a second. So
That's
we're on the Echoplex. So you want the modulation will make it more worn. This middle one here.
There's a pre-delay on there
How
somewhere.
do you choose between this and the Strymon L Capistan? It's so hard.
It's very hard,
so
isn't
good.
it? Yeah. I mean, this is... I know the Capistan is probably a bit more like this, isn't it? In a way that it's more of a... You know, it's got the reverb built in as well, and it's got your... You know, it's more of a tape thing.
Yeah, true.
This is reverb and delay in a different way, but it still has got all of that stuff.
I don't know, man.
Let's go to Memory Man.
You're so lucky, guitar players nowadays. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
So now let's
I
tremolo.
need to get a delay, because when we were at when Pete and I were at Mick and Dan's recently, and we did like a takeover on that pedal show for a day, which was mega fun.
It was.
That's the delay pedal that Dan gave me. He gave me a Deluxe Memory Man. I don't think I've ever played one before.
It's great, man.
I know. I think the problem with that pedal is it's so. No. What I mean is it's so sort of established. You think you know it, even though you probably don't. You know, and it's like it's not one of those like you don't consider it as like a go-to boutique-y kind of pedal.
No. But it is though, isn't it?
But it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that's why it's in here and it sounds great, man. I love that. It's great. So I'm on the Memory Man now.
Square modulated octave. Furry Bear?
Furry Bear? Reminds me he's calling Mrs.
Hang on. Extra bright attack reminds me I've got to call my missus. Should we do the
sounds great, man.
It's just, I think to be fair,
wow.
if you've watched the, which is the delay one? Is it the Astra or the Starlight?
The Starlight.
Starlight. If you're a fan of the Starlight, but maybe I don't know, you didn't buy it the first time round, or you kind of felt that maybe for what it was, you just wanted something. You liked the idea of having the reverb as well. This is definitely a cool option. Anyway, so last bit, and then we'll maybe try and get a blend of everything just to play out with. This is the default precision delay. Oh, we got some stereo ping pong. With vibrato. I'm interested in what the crossfade does.
I'll go from one side to the other.
Oh, anyway, look. we are.
I'm into these. I say it all the time now. I have to make another pedal board change.
I want Universal Audio to do an overdrive pedal, just a straightforward overdrive pedal. I don't know what it would be, and then maybe we could just have Universal Audio versus Strymon boards. What a great video that would be! But Universal Audio, you need to invent an overdrive pedal first, and then we could do the mega shootout.
They've got to
be the full dental practice pedal board shootout.
the ultimate dentist pedal board shootout.
I honestly, we're only pulling your leg. These are just fabulous,
Absolutely.
Fabulous pedals.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. I think there's, like I said, they've been launched today. They're all the same price. I think all the UA pedals are roughly the same price. So they're all in that kind of 350 to 400 quid kind of.
Great format as well. Top mount jack. This one we need to do on a bass at some point, maybe acoustic guitar. I feel.
Yeah.
And this one I want to see Mick and Dan do a shootout with the original.
We'll be able to do the shoot.
Oh, we need to. Yeah.
It's I've sent your it's being repaired. Our Space Echo. Right.
That I paid £1 for.
Well, it's going to cost about 500 quid to repair.
It was that was very,
anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. You might win something, like we said before. And Pete and I will see you in another video soon. Au revoir.